So excited, man. We haven't talked in a long time. I also forget that I am the inspirational life changer and you are the inspirational game changer. So I don't ever want to forget that. His title, The Inspirational Life Changer Meets the Game Changer. I love it. But that's how we met, man. We met at a business seminar, a branding seminar, and we ended up clicking and connecting. And, I think I believe I spoke at that event. What did you think of my story when we first talked?
Well, just talking to you and conversing and having conversations with you, you definitely was a great guy. Number one, I want to thank you for that. Just hearing your story and all the things that you're accomplishing, the things that you went through in life is very challenging and very tough just to hear those stories. And let me know how resilient you are as a person. Like I said before, just having a conversation with you, always a teacher, you're always a leader, you're always willing to give a helping hand. So I think that's where the connection came between us two. And just listen to your story was very, very awesome.
Well, in Miami, people do know what Liberty City is. Probably everywhere in the world, people don't know what those young minds have to go through, right? And you were raised in Liberty City. Liberty City is known for being one of the worst places to grow up in Miami, but probably in the world, because of the violence and everything that goes on. And you made it out of there. And, when we started talking, and you told me that you built a school, you built the B.Wright Academy, Leadership Academy there. I went to visit the school, and I remember the tour that you gave me, but I also remember the smiles of every single person that worked with you in this academy. Every single one of them had a smile on their face. Every single one of them was like they felt very blessed to be there. Even the janitor, everyone that I met, from the teachers to the department heads to the janitor, of course the kids, but every single one of them, man, was just so blessed to know you and to work with you because they feel like they're making a difference, making a change. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel good. I remember when I first got involved in this, I was telling my uncle that if we want to do this, we want to do it the right way. Um, it's just, and the thing I took with this was, we started off with 30 kids the first year. Many people didn't believe in me, didn't believe in my dreams, my goals, but I believed in myself. We started off with about 30 kids. Now we had 230 kids. So within 4 or 5 years, we had over 200 kids, and that all comes from hard work and dedication. The same approach I took as a basketball player, like you mentioned before, 9-time European champion, and also I won in college as well, high school. So I'm always been a winner. And then you got to do the things that other people that don't want to do, and that's just putting in the time, putting in the work, doing things other people don't want to do. So the motivation came from that, just being able to win. Like we were talking earlier about the Michael Jordan and his competitiveness. And,
Yes.
and for me, it's like if you're going to do something, give it your all, give it your best. If I'm going to come here every day and put in 6 to 8 hours, why not be the best at whatever it is that I do? So that's my approach to anything that I do in life. And when I took on the school, being a founder and things like that, and like I say, that's another story we could talk about. Just as how it evolved, me and my uncle having a conversation, and I know I got 2 or 3 more years to play professional basketball. I knew it was something that I wanted to get into after retirement. What can I do? And we had a conversation, and to be honest with you, it was just like a conversation. I'm driving from Orlando, got like a 3-hour drive. Just took my daughter on the Disney cruise, so we got 3 and 4 hours driving back. I remember this vividly. It was such a beautiful day. The weather is nice. Got the top, the sunroof open, and we just driving. We talked for about 2 hours, and I told him just give me some information about the school. How does it start? How does it work out? And he was a former athlete as well, football player. He also coached me in basketball. So, you know, we just, athletes, we just do it. It was no planning, it was no nothing. So I built something from scratch to today. From 30 kids to 230 kids within 3 or 4 years, and now we're going to our 7th year. It's definitely been, sometimes some people tell me how great I'm doing, but I want more. You know what I'm
Correct.
saying?
You have a
So
bigger vision.
yeah, I have a bigger vision. It's more that I want and I want to achieve. So with that drive I have from basketball, teachers, administrators, janitors, everybody, we all play an important role in these kids' lives. We all they mentors, we they role models. So, we don't know what they're going through at home. So when
Correct.
they come to school, it's like they get love and attention that they never seen before. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why we went from 30 kids the first year to the next year we went to 120 kids, and then the third year we went from 120 to 180 because of the love and the caring that we provide to our families and our kids.
Amen. Well, listen, I mean, the one thing I always talk about is I've been really truly blessed. I had a mom and a dad like I did, and educators themselves and professionals, and I had that upbringing that was a blessing. But not everyone has that. But I always talk about my counselors and my mentors in high school and in college. These are the people that push me to become part of organizations like Future Business Leaders of America and the Latin American Student Association, and then I became in the fraternity and all these other things in college, Business College Council, because of people in the school that just saw something in me and I listened to, but they imparted knowledge, but they also imparted love and care and attention. And that's what I feel like, sometimes you go to a business place or you go to a school and you kind of see where everybody's at. They're kind of doing their job, but they're not really opening their arms. They're not really, being, they wanting to learn more about these kids. And these kids need that because they don't have that in the streets and they don't have that at home. And you are literally like almost like a father figure to probably a lot of those kids, and they look up to you. And I acknowledge that even in your teachers and your administration. I was really excited to come see you, man. I know we talked for a while. Then I said, listen, I'm going to come see you, and one day I hope to speak at your school and be able to give some kind of a dream speech to these kids that they don't give up. But I think the biggest thing for them is seeing you. Tell me a little bit about your back. How did you get out of Liberty City? What? Because I have a feeling it wasn't by yourself. I have a feeling someone
Oh,
must have done
yeah.
something, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my grandma raised me. My mom and dad, they were in my life. But I stayed with my grandma. She raised me. She taught me everything that I know. But basketball was the point that changed my life. And, my uncle who works with me now, who actually gave me the opportunity to open up B.Wright Leadership Academy. He was working at local high school, Miami Senior High School. That's where I graduated from in 1997. And I was at Northwestern, which was an inner city school. Wasn't doing too well, wasn't a great student, wasn't doing too well. So the best thing that ever happened to me was taking me out of that environment and put me into another environment, which was Miami Senior High School. You had, I know world famous coach Shaky Rodriguez, Frank Martin, those were my coaches. And what drove me and wanted me to do better and be more successful in life was the guys before me. Doug Edwards, Steve Edwards, Allen Edwards, Devin Davis, Greg Scott, Poncho, Julio Ramos, the list go on. Like all these great guys that played basketball at Miami High that set the standard. If you want to be a great basketball player, here's the place to be. You want to say you're a good guy, a great scorer, whatever player, this is what you need to do at. So I played at the mecca of basketball in high school. So, just working and want to seeing them guys doing it and watching them practice, see how hard they work and see how much hard work it takes to be great. That was the point that drove me, that wanted me to know that like basketball could be my way out. This could change my life. You know what I'm saying? I could do some great things, for myself, for my family, by playing basketball. But of course you have to put the work in and work hard and do the things that no one else wanted to do. Working out on Saturdays and Sundays, and I remember me and my best childhood friend, we would play basketball on street basketball till like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I come home, I'm sweaty, I'm dirty. My grandma gotta wash my clothes. She mad, she angry at me. Like, wait, what are you doing? I said, Grandma, one day I'm gonna get us out of this place. And I remember this vividly. But my passion for basketball changed my life. It gave me that push. Everybody need a little bit of push.
Yes.
Need a little bit of help, a little bit of push. And for me, basketball was the point that changed my life. And I'm very grateful for basketball. It took me all around the world, to Europe, I won high school, 2 high school championships. I was Florida Gatorade Player of the Year. So I was the best basketball player in Florida in 1997. So, but I accumulated all of those things by hard work and just having the drive and just being competitive.
Well, I look at your academy, and the one thing that it makes me think about when I play basketball or any type of team sports in high school was you learn so much as a team sport because you have to learn about not just yourself and your skills and your talents, but you have to learn about other people, and you have to be able to be a leader to other people. I remember my position was always either from quarterback to center field to point guard or something. So it was always kind of some leadership I had to kind of take on, and you have to learn about everyone around you to make them better. And that taught me later on when I ran health clubs and I ran Gold's Gyms and all these studios that I opened, that I was able to evaluate talent, and it came easy to me. It didn't come back until I went through cancer that I found out. Wait, let me look through my life and see where I got all these things from. Right? Where did God kind of implemented these things, right? And I go back to, yeah, my parents, my mentors, people, my coaches, people like that. But everything in life that you learn, that's why I would say, sports is one way that we bring people together, but it's also another way that we give an outlet to people that maybe don't need any extra distractions. And I always felt that was maybe a connection that I had with you, because you turn your career, and yes, you come back home to Liberty City and build a school where no one really believed you should, right? Because you could have done a school anywhere, and probably would have been easier. And not only that, but you brought it home, but you're also there bringing people that are leaders in the community to kind of support you. It's almost like you're evaluating their talent, and you know what I'm saying? It's still a team sport, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still a team sport, and it's funny. And just to give you a story, I remember when I first opened it back in June of 2014, and school starts in August. So I'm fresh from Europe. I'm flying in from Europe to Miami. I go to Miami Airport to right here where I'm at right now today. Like, that's how driven I was. That's how passionate I was about, becoming the best school, best private owned school in Liberty City. And everything that I do, it kind of relates back to sports. You know what I'm saying? Lead by example. You know what I'm saying? Do what you want others to do. So it kind of like, basketball and sports. And like I tell all the parents here, put your child in some sports. Get them to, learn how to lose, learn how to win together. Team camaraderie, you win together, you lose together, you know what I'm saying? So you build that bond, you build that resilience that some of these kids missing. Everybody want to be handed a trophy. Okay, well, work for the trophy.
Exactly. Yeah, we were never in that era.
Yeah,
I mean,
everybody want a trophy. You know what I'm saying? Like, how, if you give him a trophy and he didn't deserve the trophy, how will he ever overcome and work hard to get to the trophy?
exactly.
He continue to get it. So everything for me always it's just some kind of way, sports, athletic, basketball, it always comes into the fold to whatever I'm doing, business, school, to whatever. It always comes back to sports.
So let's take it now to where we are now, as a country, as the world is dealing with an epidemic or a pandemic, and you have these kids that school for them is an outlet. They come to you to get out of their house. They come to you to get out of an environment, um, abusive sometimes, or sometimes even worse, and let's just say negative environment. And they are literally probably the kids that I've gotten the chance to see at your school when I went to see the luncheon and all that other stuff. Their smiles on their face is probably what they look forward to every day when they wake up. It's like, I get to leave here and go to the B.Wright Leadership Academy. I get to go to school, which is something that most kids used to dread, was going to school. But your kids actually want to go to school. Your kids want to get away from their house. Now with this pandemic, they're at home, right?
Yes, they're at home. We have this thing, we have remote learning, distant learning. So we have our teachers clock in every day, have a list of the students, students. They need to call the students, check in every day. And some of the students, like some of the teachers who the kids were giving the teachers problem, they say, I apologize, I'm so sorry, I miss you. I want to get out of the house, I want to come back to school. You know, just because the loving and caring environment that we have. And also our teachers miss our students too as well. But, you know, just that when you hear things like that, that lets you know that you're doing great things, you know. The parents call, say thank you, we appreciate it. We appreciate you calling and check up on us. And it's just like what we do here, nobody else is doing.
Correct. Well, you're in a very, very unique environment. I mean, we're a product of our environment. I always talked about that. And if you're providing an environment like you are, Brent, and that's why I always call you back. I always make sure I reach back out to you because, you know, you just listening to your story and what you do, I know for a fact that whatever I can do to be a blessing in your life, I always will be. And I do it because I have my nonprofit for children with cancer, but children to me have always been I love going to schools and speaking. Like that was one of my favorite things to do, is to speak to students because I can give them a different perspective that they would never really think about me standing on that stage, right? And I know your teachers and I know your director. I met the people ahead on the top of your list, and they are literally loving what you do. I mean, they love coming to work. You've built an environment, and I know that God has a lot to do with it. Pretty much the whole beginning of it and everything, He's been blessing you with these visions and these dreams. But you still have a choice to make, right? And those choices turn into where you are now. So I pray for those kids because I know that their environment, they want to come back to school. They probably don't care if they got to wear a mask or no mask or this or that. But my prayer is that that you're able to reach those kids even now, because I know it's even more difficult now with technology. They're not out of the environment that they can just get a hug, or you know what I'm saying. So it's really what you're doing really stands out now, and it's probably just pushing you for when this is over. Is going to push you to even do more, because you really get to see now the effort that you're putting out there. It's not always the you're doing a good job, Brent. It's those kids, because that's the definition of what you're doing.
Right. It's that for me. It's like we just talked about the basketball, right? Everything tied to sports. It's just like, to me, it's a goal what I'm trying to do. So every year at the beginning of the season, when I play basketball, I set my goals to how many points I want to score, rebounds, assists, and at the end, it always win a championship. So right now, I've been doing this 7 years, and my championship now is to make sure I get these kids what they need.
Correct.
In the 21st century. Give them some love, give them some caring. Also, let them know that education is also important. So right now, doing distant learning, remote learning, a lot of our kids and families don't have tablets. They don't have handheld devices. I got a call from a mom. She got 6 kids. Guess what? She got one device. So she's telling me, I don't know what to do. She's panicking. She's stressing out. Like, just relax. I understand. I'll see what I could do. You know what I'm saying? But imagine having a child, having 6 kids, and you have one device.
Correct.
So what that gave me the motivation to start an iPad initiative. So things like this happen. We always provide the families, our students, iPads. So even in the course, like we live here in South Florida, we always go through hurricane season, right? We're gonna get into that right now. Right. We're going into hurricane season. So my vision and my goal was what made me start this iPad initiative, to make sure every student at B.Wright Leadership Academy has their own iPad. So
Amen.
they can use it in school, and in an event, something like this happened, the coronavirus, the pandemic, or even hurricane season, where we out of school 1 or 2 weeks, we will still be educating our kids through technology.
Amen. Well, listen, I have to commend you always, and I pray for you, because I know this is not easy. And listen, a lot of people find every excuse in the book or every reason not to do something, right? You can talk yourself out of anything on a daily basis if you're not in a good place. And I can only imagine the doubts and things that you have to go through on a daily basis, and yet you keep showing up and you keep showing up and you keep showing up, man. So, I felt like I had to, I wanted to interview you because I want to tell your story. I wanted to tell people who are you, for the people that didn't know you, Brent Wright. And I'm going to put the link to the Leadership Academy, and put the link to you. People will need to get to know you. And man, if you just Google this guy, you'll see all the great accolades that he had. But here's the thing: those accolades were in the past, but those accolades made him who he is today. And he is living his purpose. That's why, to me, you're somebody I connected with, that I will always answer the phone for you and always reach out. Brent, right now, there's people right now that are not even getting out of their house. There's people that the anxiety and the stress level is really high. And someone like you, just the fact that you're there right now at the school talking to me, I know that the effort's there. I know that you have the hope, the faith, and all the drive to do what you're doing. But I want to always ask my guests, if there's one word, just one word, that gives you hope, that gives you that drive, that will on a daily basis. It could have been when you play ball. Maybe that's just one thing that just every morning you wake up. Or it could be something even right now that you're going through. This is another kind of challenge that you have in your life right now. What is one word, and give me the meaning of that word to you?
The thing that drives me the most is success.
Success.
Just being successful. And I think that would drive me. You know what I'm saying? I've been a winner all my life. So anything that I do, I want to win at it. You know what I'm saying? I want to win at life. I want to win at this school I started. I want to win at making sure that I provide the right guidance and leadership to the kids at B.Wright Leadership Academy. And that's why I lead by example, and I come in and I work hard, and I do the things that someone may not want to do. And where we at today, and why we're here today, by me and the staff and B.Wright Leadership family doing the things that we need to do to build this thing to where we wanted to go. So for me, the one thing that gives me hope and that keeps me going is success and afraid to fail. And when I say afraid to fail, not afraid to fail, but that's the being, let me put it this way, being scared to fail, not being scared.
Not being scared to fail. Oh, I got it.
Right.
I got it.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that would drive me, not that I'm scared to fail, but afraid to fail. So
yes.
That would drive me to continue to work hard, to do the things that I want to do, check emails, just work long hours. Those are things that continue to give me hope and drive me.
Well, I want to thank you again for your time. I know that you're working late tonight, and success. I want to thank Brent Wright for his amazing story. We're not going to have enough time here to talk about all his accolades and all his success that he had in life. But like he said, success was his word. And when I look at success, or I think of success, I always used to look at business and how successful I was when I ran a business, or how much money I made, or anything like that. And after going through cancer, success for me meant something totally different. You heard him say successful at life. And a lot of people will define success with money. And my success is by changing lives. I have it in the title, Life Changer. My goal is to share my story to give people hope that hopefully they want to change their life. Brent is really truly successful because he is changing lives. He is changing the game. He is the game changer. But he's doing it with love, compassion, and he's got a phenomenal vision for what he wants to do. And no matter what, since basketball and since his days of growing up in Liberty City, he has enough of a past to basically overcome anything that goes his way. I do believe Brent will be successful and continue to be successful. And I pray that more people are able to hear his story and support his vision for the B.Wright Leadership Academy. And more importantly, for the kids that are attending when they graduate, go to college, and then become athletes or scholars or entrepreneurs. So for me, success has a meaning. It's not ever been about money. It's always been about sharing my story and being a life changer. And the more people that I'm able to witness live their purpose, that gives me success. I hope that this interview has given you some hope that no matter where you are, like Brent said, you have to give it your all. If it's an hour, 6, 8 hours, 12 hours a day, if you're going to do something, do it fully. Always do it fully. Well, I'll leave you with my message like I always do. Find hope, have faith, and live every day with purpose. Brent is living every day with purpose. God bless you guys. Take care.